Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 20th lesson. In the last lesson, which was the 19th lesson, we learned the numbers from 3 to 10 with the masculine ma'dud. Ma'dud, it is something that is numbered, that is counted, and in this case, it is masculine. And we learned the numbers with the masculine ma'dud. We said that number 3 with the masculine ma'dud is ثلاثة, 4 أربعة, 5 خمسة, 6 ستة, 7 سبعة, 8 ثمانية, 9 تسعة, and 10 عشرة. That's how it is. And in today's lesson, we will learn the same numbers from 3 to 10, but with the feminine ma'dud. As it says here, we have already learned these numbers with masculine ma'dud. For example, ثلاثة أبناء. Now, if the ma'dud is feminine, the ta marbuta, see this ta marbuta in the end? At the end of the number is omitted. So it's almost the same, with the exception that this ta marbuta is omitted. For example, 3 sons, ثلاثة أبناء. أبناء, sons, they are masculine, therefore ta marbuta is present. But ثلاث بنات, it is feminine and this ta marbuta is omitted. That's the only difference. أربعة إخوة, أربع أخوات, ta marbuta is omitted. خمسة آباء, خمس أمهات, and so on and so forth up until the 10th. But there is a slight difference in the number 10. Note that ثمانية has sukun on the last letter. Well, firstly, it's about 8. ثمانية بيوت, ثماني غرف. That's how it is. ثمانية, but in this case it's just ثماني غرف. It's not fatha like here. It is sukun. ثماني غرف. And the number 10 is also slightly different. If you're talking about masculine ma'dud, it's عشرة رجال. But if we are talking about feminine ma'dud, it is عشر. You see, this shin has fatha, but here it has sukun. So عشرة رجال and عشر نساء. It took me a while when I was learning this to get used to this sukun. I was always tempted to say عشر نساء, but this is sukun, and I remember my teacher used to correct me every time I was saying عشر. You're saying عشر, it's sukun, it's not fatha when the ma'dud is feminine. So yeah, that's how it is. Note that عشرة has fatha on the shin and the عشر has sukun on the shin. And the feminine of واحد is واحدة. And of اثنان اثنتان. Yeah, that's also true. So all the numbers are slightly different when they are feminine from what they were if they were masculine. You see, these is just here ta marbuta went away. When we got to the 10, shin took sukun. And if we are talking about 1, like wahid, wahid is for masculine, wahidatun is for feminine, ithnani is for masculine, ithnatani for feminine. Yeah, you can write it down. You can write it down and just look for yourself what is the difference. Think thoroughly about the difference between them firstly, and then you should proceed to the dialogue to have the better understanding of this difference. And now let's get started with the dialogue. Layla, she's saying, يا سلمى أفي فصلك طالبات من الصين واليابان. Oh Salma, are there students in your class from China and Japan? And Salma is replying نعم. Yes, there are. There are. في فصلنا خمس. You see, it's not خمسة because معدود is feminine. خمس طالبات من الصين وأربع طالبات من اليابان وثماني طالبات من إندونيسيا. She says, yeah, there are. There are 5 students, female students from China, 4 students from Japan, and 8 students or female students from Indonesia in our class. في فصلنا, in our class. Layla, she is saying وفي فصلنا 3 طالبات من الهند و6 طالبات من الفلبين و7 طالبات من تركيا. Layla is saying, and there are 3 female students from India, 6 female students from Philippines, and 7 students or female students from Turkey in our class. In all these numbers, ta marbuta is omitted because ma'dud is feminine. And Salma is asking Kam ukhtan laki ya Layla? How many sisters do you have, O Layla? Layla is replying Li thalathu akhawatin. In the last lesson, for some reason, I mistakenly said akhawatin instead of ikhwatin. I was meaning to say ikhwatin, which means brothers, but I said akhawatin, which meant sisters, so I made a mistake. Akhawatun, sisters, ikhwatun, brothers. Li thalathu akhawatin, I've got 3 sisters. Salma is asking, Wakam akhon laki? And how many brothers do you have? Layla is replying, Li khamsatu. You see, ta marbuta is in place because she's talking about masculine ma'dud. Khamsatu ikhwatin. So here she was talking about feminine ma'dud, sisters. Therefore, ta marbuta was omitted. But here she's talking about masculine ma'dud. Therefore, ta marbuta is in its place. And Salma is saying, or maybe asking, Laki thalathu akhawatin wa khamsatu ikhwatin. Yeah, no, she's not asking, she's stating. She's saying, you've got 3 sisters and 5 brothers. And again, she was talking about, in this part, she was talking about the feminine ma'dud, and therefore ta marbuta was omitted. But in this part, she was talking about masculine ma'dud. And don't forget that ma'dud, it is something that is counted, that is numbered. And the number itself is called adadun. Adadun. In the last lesson, I wrote down how it's written. Adadun. That's how it is. And Layla is replying, Na'am, yes. وَكَمْ أَخٌ وَأُخْتًا لَكِ? And how many brothers and sisters do you have? And Salma is replying, Li arba'atu. The second Salma said, Arba'atu, you already know that she's going to talk about something masculine because ta marbuta is in its place, and therefore you already know that the ma'dud is going to be masculine. And it's ikhwatin. I've got 4 brothers wa arba'u akhawatin. Just the second you heard her say arba'u without ta marbuta, you already know that she is going to talk about something feminine. because ta marbuta is omitted. أربع أخوات, and I've got 4 sisters. So yeah, in English, 4 is just 4. Whether you're talking about feminine or masculine, is just 4. But in the Arabic language, uh, it's not just arba'atu, but it is also arba'u without ta marbuta, depending on what ma'dud is meant in this sentence, if it's feminine or masculine. And Layla says, لي زميلة اسمها خديجة. I've got زميلة, it might be translated as a peer or as a classmate. Let's say I've got a classmate. Her name is Khadija. لها 8 إخوة وثماني أخوات. You see ثمانية, there is fatha above ya, but here we've got only sukun. ثمانية إخوة وثماني أخوات. Yeah, that's how it is. That is a very short lesson, but you'll have to write down these numbers and you'll have to memorize them, and you'll have to get adjusted to the way how numbers are written and pronounced with a female ma'dud. I mean without ta marbuta. So it will take more than 12 minutes. So yeah, do your homework, read this dialogue at least 5 times, write down all the numbers, whether the ma'dud is feminine or masculine, see the difference, have a good understanding what is the difference, and take a look at these numbers also, like واحد, واحدة, اثنان, and اثنتان. Write them down and think thoroughly about the difference between them, and that's it. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.